I'm going to be doing my artistic review over the movie The Boy, which was directed by William Brent Bell. The movie is about a family who was in a tragic accident on their child's 8-year-old birthday, and it was a fire of the house, and the child died. His name was Brahms Hillshire, and he was killed in the accident. And then the next day, a doll appeared in the house, and so the family decided that it was Brahms come back into the doll. And so they took care of it for over 30 years, day in and day out, and they had specific rules that they had to follow, and they had certain things they had to do on a certain time. There was a whole schedule printed out just for them, and they believed that their son was always in the doll throughout the entire time. And eventually, they finally hired a nanny because they wanted to go on a vacation, but they had trouble finding one until one girl named Greta came over from America to get away from her abusive ex, and she came to watch Brahms, and at first she did not believe that he was real. He was just a doll, and until certain events transpired, such as weird occurrences happened, then she finally believed that the doll was actually Brahms in there, and he was alive. And so the parents of the child finally left, and it was their vacation, but the mother wrote a letter saying that she could not take it anymore, and their vacation turned out to be a suicide pact. And so they put in rocks in their pockets, and they walked out into a lake so that they could get away because they just could not take it anymore. And then Greta showed the grocery man that came over once a week that Brahms was real. He was just shy, and so she showed him how he can move on his own and do things on his own without her moving or touching him. And so they both believed it, and finally Greta's ex found out where she was living, and he came over and he destroyed the doll because he was angry. And then the house was shaking and there were cracks everywhere. And then a man came out of the wall and attacked her ex, Cole, and killed him. And it turned out to be Brahms, who was actually alive the entire time. And he was just trying to keep Greta, so he killed the other man who was there, the grocery man, or he tried to. They got away, but Greta tried to murder Brahms, and she thought she had, and so she ran away with the grocery man, but it turns out at the end that Brahms is still alive, and he was fixing the doll, and that is where it ended. I personally really liked the movie. It was very intriguing, and it got your blood pumping a lot. It had a very wide range of emotions, from happiness to love to sadness and excitement. It had very many jump scares, which alarmed me, but it was very fun to watch, and it had a plot twist ending because you think it's a paranormal movie where the doll is possessed by the ghost of Brahms, but it turns out he was alive, living in the walls the entire time, and just controlling the doll whenever they were not looking. And this is my prop. which is a doll like they used in the movie, except for the doll they used was porcelain and looked like the child moms, and it was used to portray him in the manner that he was wanting to be portrayed as, instead of being uh, a boy with half his face burned off. And that way, as being the doll, he could appear normal for the rest of his life.